This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the content staff of Guardian Network.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Monday, the 15th of November, 2021, and you are on the clock with Erin, Greene. On the clock, we engage organizations, institutions, social and cultural leaders, and ordinary people to better understand the impact of public policy, private sector development, and emerging social and consumer trends. Listen, yes, Friday I played a song by Bagon to open the show. I got a call in, somebody asked me where I find that song from. I thought that's an awesome song. Let me tell you why. First of all, we know that the song is full of double entendres, right? And metaphors and painting pictures so we could get the message while not getting the message, right? But I played that song because that song is the most exciting song I've ever heard talking about fruit and vegetables and juicing as a style of eating. It's a song that understands what it means, or at least the people who made the song understand what it means to build a culture of appreciation for things. It's sort of like marketing, but in our actual lives, right? To expect change in others, you have to convince those people that it is worth it to them to change. You got to get people excited about the shifts that you think they should make in their lives. You got to get people excited about the things that you think are important. Sitting down and beating up your gum and getting mad at people that show no interest in the things that you show interest in is not going to get us anywhere. But if it is really, really and truly important to you, you're going to invest energy, resources, and money into showing others why these things are important. Growing up in this country, I had the fortune of being a part of the Methodist Summer Youth Program. And from a 5-year-old to an 18-year-old, I spent virtually, I think, every summer at some point in Eleuthera working with the Summer Youth Program. And by the time I became a counselor in training, I was already involved in camp activities. When you are responsible for today's Bible study or today's entertainment activity, you got to invest your energy into making sure that you entertain this group of people and children. It could be anywhere from 40 to 80 campers, let alone counselors. And I enjoyed being a part of that church family, that island community, that summer program so much that I got excited every year when it was time to pick up my booklets to raise money to pay my own way to be a counselor at this camp. See, the counselors and the people working at that camp had already convinced me the value of this program. They didn't have to market it to me anymore. They showed me how important this program, this space was to them in the wider community through their consistent dedication and commitment to those communities and the program. See, when you really, really believe in something, you invest in building a culture of appreciation for that thing, for those things, for those principles, for those concepts. And I'm not sure if at any level in this country, we still get that, we still understand that. From the business sector, to the political sector, to the private sector. In our homes, we rarely engage young people, children, other people living in the home in conversations about decision making, about what we're going to do, the way forward, the family vision. But we expect everybody to just jump on board because I'm in charge and I say so. We see that filter out in governance as well, and politics as well. Marketing is a serious thing. And it seems like none of us think we have to market our ideas to the wider public. Well, the government have a big, big challenge ahead of it. They got to market this COVID. They got to market the new normal. They got to figure out how to convince Bahamians to appreciate their vision for the Bahamas and their plans to get us there. They got to talk to the Bahamian people about what it is they're doing and what they need from the Bahamian people to achieve it. On Saturday, we had the official first day of Just Road. I'm not sure if the government understood or understands at this point the amount of energy it requires to engage your populace, ensure that they know and understand the new COVID rules and what is expected of them in this new dispensation. I don't know if the government has spent the time and the energy necessary to build a culture of appreciation for this new normal, for the new protocols, what they mean, why we have them, why adherence and enforcement are vital to the progressive development of the country. Some people call it marketing. Some people call it building a culture of appreciation for the thing that you're doing. I call it an urgent and priority issue. Because if the new COVID protocol is going to go the way of the new traffic legislation where you could turn left on red, well then there, Bahamas, we in a heap of trouble. The reason I play that song, Ghost Move, It's because I couldn't play the song I wanted to play. Not yet. I got to find a suitable radio edit for it. The Ghost Move is the closest I could come to capturing the sentiment that I felt over the weekend. So this is a notice to the artists. Johnny K can shine. I need you all to get me an instrumental or an even cleaner version of that song for me. The Ghost Move. It's like everybody on the weekend was on a Ghost Move, but in the open. Why y'all didn't tell me about the concert and road march? Why y'all didn't tell me we be having carnival? Because I looking at today's paper at a headline called Junkanoo Event for Boxing Day, but in the story it says, quote, there won't be any traditional Junkanoo parades this year, but there will be a virtual feature presentation. So if we ain't having Junkanoo this year, how is it that we had a whole road march and carnival concert? Maybe it is the government is not doing a great job of building a culture of appreciation for the COVID rules and protocols, why they are necessary, what they mean, how they should be enforced, why they need to be enforced in these ways. Now, today is a what's in the news, just road kind of day. You can call us at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. That's 6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, or 325-4259. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line. That's 422-4796. We're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, we're going to continue figuring out Just Road. Ah, boy. What a time. What a time. And ain't nobody called me. Listen, I don't snitch. You could have called me and tell me about the vibe. I don't snitch. I mean, I ain't coming. I definitely ain't coming, but I ain't a snitch. Anyway, we'll be right back. Stay tuned to Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
At Fidelity, the holidays are all about family, spending time with loved ones, and being thankful for the little things in life. Worrying about bills should be the last thing on your mind, especially during the holidays. Let Fidelity help you get your bills under control. Fidelity can also get you started with a real savings plan that actually pays you interest. The only thing you need to think about is what you will do with the savings in your pocket this Christmas. Now that's what I'm talking about. Fidelity Bank is here for you this holiday season because you are family, and family is important to us.
The Nassau Guardian has delivered news and views that matter since 1844. Now, the Nassau Guardian app is available at your fingertips. Download it at Google Play or the App Store. Get the best in news and commentary from the most trusted newspaper in the country with the Nassau Guardian app.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. You're on the clock with Erin Greene. Let me get right to this text. It says, great show, Erin. The PLP administration needs to prioritize the new protocols. The members of parliament and cabinet ministers need to be more visible to their voters, constituents, and supporters. We are hurt that it's not easy to see our representatives. It's very discouraging. We call up the PLP administration to render a listening ear. Otherwise, we will vote them out in 2026. Man, look here, that's a whole sermon. That's like a whole 5-year briefing. A listening ear. Hear that? We put that aside. That is so important. I think they've been listening, you know. You can see them sort of moving on the fly. They're bold. They go out, they make a move. But they're listening and sort of readjusting on the fly, which is something to ask for. But you are absolutely right. The PLP administration needs to prioritize the new protocols. First of all, I want to say this. Thank you to whoever is responsible for the BIS WhatsApp feed. That's the Bahamas Information Services WhatsApp feed. And good morning, and thank you to the person who or people who run Your Daily Headlines Bahamas. Between the two of them, I am able to grab tons of official information from the state mechanism, right? If I get it on Your Daily Headlines, then it has been vetted. And so I want to thank them. However, we need a space dedicated to promoting, to publishing, to answering questions about, to hosting discussions on the new COVID protocols, what is expected of us. We have to do this. First of all, the state has an obligation to do this because you need to make sure that people understand what the laws are. Second of all, this is very important because I'm certain that you left a number of citizens with the impression that a new day meant no COVID regulations, and certainly not the kind that could leave you with a penalty or a conviction or something on your record. But here we are now, and I see a lot of penalties and fines in this thing. And so we need to go through the new COVID regulations, the 3 pieces. Unfortunately, I've only seen 2 pieces so far. That's my bad. Management of COVID-19, Health Services COVID-19 General Rules. And the second one, the second one, which is the management rules. And then I need to get the special provisions bill. That's right. The second one is the Health Services COVID-19 Prevention and Management of Community Spread Rules 2021. I just need to get my hands a printout of the special provisions to go through them all. But if this is difficult for people like me who done been to the COB 4 times and drop out, and I'll drop out again if y'all let me. Let's have this discussion. If it's difficult for me to get through and ensure that I understand clearly what the regulations are saying, the average Bahamian gonna have a time trying to get through this. And the state is obligated to creating a space to help people understand this new legislation. It is paramount. Got another text here. The Bahamian public are calling upon their members of Parliament and cabinet ministers to hear their cry and their concerns. We object to the suggestion that you cannot come out of the Parliament to see your representatives. It's the People's Parliament. Brave. Please remember it's the People's Parliament. Oh, Chester Cooper. Please remember it's the People's Parliament. Let's not kid ourselves. MPs work for us. And there's no such thing in the Constitution as a DPM. Although I say we like you, Chester. We like you very much. We just, there's no such thing as a DPM. In the Constitution, it does not create that office. Politicians created that office for each other to grant them favors. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Good morning, Erin Greene. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, thank God. Thank BTC. I was down for a while. Why you didn't hear from me?
Boy, that's what happened. Anyway, I have a note about BTC. We can get to them later. How you doing?
Man, they cool.
I mean, they all right, you know. But still, we got a note about them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is when the whole thing could be privatized so I can buy some shares.
BTC?
I like to invest.
Yeah, no, we can't privatize BTC
Why not?
because we are an archipelagic nation.
But you don't want me to buy shares?
We could figure out a way for you to be able to buy shares, but guess what? If it belongs to the government, it already belonged to you.
Yeah, but I want the dividends to go back to my bank account. That don't belong to me.
The dividends could go back to your bank account. Like if the dividends went into a sovereign wealth fund where you could pull money out on a regular basis
That
from there,
makes sense.
it could work. It don't need to be in private hands for you to have access.
Well, Erin, Greene, let's educate the people about that. Or I should say, educate the government.
Yeah, and the people. The people need to know.
well-
People need to push the government forward on it.
All people smart, man. You always online. Erin,
Yeah.
Greene, you mentioned BIS. You say they have an app. That's why I basically called for.
BIS, Bahamas Information
Yeah,
Services,
information, BIS.
has a WhatsApp feed.
Oh, I know that would stuff.
And I think it's generally for the media and politicians. However,
Oh, that's not for
in
public.
this time of misinformation,
Yes.
if you can access the feed and receive this information directly from the source, it'll help dispel the misinformation.
It would help better, Erin, if it's time for, I hope they're listening to me and you. It's time for BIS to set up an app. It is our BIS.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with no private BIS. It's ours. If we all know what it means, government information,
Right.
and if government would be smart, they'll make sure the public is very informed what's going on.
But listen, the public could be even smarter and create the mechanism, create the app, both the hardware and the software. We need to manage the people who manage the app and then make it available to the government. So we don't wait on the government to send us information. We every day we send somebody, whether digitally or in person, to that office to say we come for the dump of daily information so that we could pass it and put it online.
But what I want to see, shouldn't go online to see the legislation to be sent to me ahead of time. Politicians should not only be afraid to have the legislation. Legislation is my legislation. I want to read it. I love watching parliamentary channel because it's important for me to know what's going on in my country. But I want to read the. That's how they get a copy of their report early.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want to get it early so I can read it. So when they debate, I don't know if they make sense. It don't make sense.
Right.
I don't want to waste my time because this is the other thing I understand. The speaker wanted to put some new rules. One of the rules is get to the point, move away from the rhetoric.
Yeah. But it's not a new
I
rule.
wish that's one of the rules.
But it's not
They
new.
spend 2 hours to an hour when it could be finished the bill. Each bill could be finished, each elaboration could be finished in 10 minutes or 15.
Absolutely.
If they didn't go through a bunch of rhetoric and,
Absolutely. They
that's
need
what
the
we
bill.
need to change.
Yeah, they need the bill in more time. They need to prepare. If they prepare, they'll have a smoother presentation. But listen, I got another caller on the line. Those are some great points that you made. And we're going to get back to them. Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
Good morning, Ms. Greene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
You have witnessed this thing they call ease of doing business in the Bahamas.
Yeah, man.
Was it really easy for you?
I mean, I wasn't doing business with the government, and it was really easy. I was buying cup. Look here, you want ease of business? You got to deal with the people who sell cup. They know how this thing works.
I don't understand. We've been talking from the last administration to it's a new day, but I thank God every morning I wake up and see the sun. Every one of them is a new day. The other thing is just a doggone political, whatever that is. But it's a new day. For almost 5 to 6 months now, I've been just trying to get my little business license done. Everything, you go to the office, you say this online, that online, just do this step, go this. They send you the national insurance, Ministry of Health, Inland Revenue. You're up and down and everything. You fill it out, you're following all the steps online. Then you reach to the end, it sends you someplace else. Then when you reach the end, you go back to national insurance, you get your business license number or something. And then when you reach the end of that, they tell you all the stuff you put in there was not saved and downloaded. So And now, I don't have transportation right now, so I can ride.
Yeah. Makes
And I
it
have
even
two
more
people
difficult.
helping me go through these steps.
Yep.
And they know computer.
Yep.
But we can't get to the end.
Man, look here, Sparky. Come on, we gotta keep it going because you're gonna start a fire in me and we cannot burn this morning. We have to hold it down. Ah boy, there we go. Man, Sparky, listen, I appreciate exactly what it is that you're saying. These systems don't seem to be set up to suit or be functional for your average user, right? That's a part of it. The back and forth, the up and down. But you made me think of this experience I'm having with one of our other utility providers. And I don't want to talk about that today, Sparky. I don't want to talk about that today. I have a text here that says, "Morning, I did not even know about the road march." I am still hoping that this is a video I saw from 2 years ago or something. You know, that's what I was hoping. But people are confirming for me that this is something that happened on the day after, on the day of, the first day of no protocols, just road. And so I want to say this. I am not saying that y'all didn't attempt to follow COVID protocols. I'm not saying that you didn't put in every effort to ensure that those protocols would be followed. I'm just asking why. You don't think it's too soon? You don't think it's too soon? You don't think it's a bit reckless? Even to the concert promoters, I have been informed that there was testing at the doors, that you needed to have a negative rapid antigen test or take one on site before you could be let into the venue. That's good stuff. However, why? Why? It's too soon. It's too soon. We got to learn to discipline ourselves, people. We got to moderate our behavior. We have to figure out how to make the difficult decisions, even if we disadvantage ourselves, for the sake of the whole. Anyway, I got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock.
Mr. Erin, Greene, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All right. Sorry to change your topic, but I have something of great concern to the human public. It vexed me this morning.
Okay.
There's a major bank down in the downtown area. I went to the bank a little bit after 9:30. 3 tellers is on, and they take must be almost a half an hour to serve me. Okay, good. There's only like 2 persons in front of me. I reached the teller. As a taxi driver, we take euro and the other monies from Europe.
Yeah.
And they can tell me that they don't tell after that. After I went to the teller, tried to do the transaction, the system went down with me standing there. After the system went down with me standing there, I proceeded to ask the lady, which I'm a bank account holder for the last 15 years, to change some Swiss money for me. Oh, we don't change Swiss money there. I said, well, if you change euro, if euro is a part in Europe, how come, and Swiss is a part of Europe, why don't you change Swiss money? No, we don't change it here.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Greene, this particular bank announced the other day that they're not giving us interest on our money. The banking system is really the problem in this country, and the poor Bahamian people who pay this $12 or $15 for them to keep our money, and they let it out at 18%, and they don't want to give us a penny over. They don't even want to give us no interest. I don't think that's fair.
But listen, I didn't even want to get a bank account. I could be honest with you. I didn't even want to get a bank account. I was forced to get a bank account. They told me if you don't have a bank account, you can't be an adult. And I was just like, I'm not sure that I should have to pay these fees to be considered an adult. It don't make any sense. I just want to know, why can't, if you're a Canadian bank, why can't you treat me like a Canadian? I mean, you don't have to give me the same rates and services. You know, you should just smile at me, though, and say, well, you all to smile at Canadians. I'd take that. I'd take that. I don't want to go as far as to call it predatory banking practices. I like to call it plantation model banking systems. I got a text there. Good morning, Erin. I don't know why we're blowing this out of proportion. The only significant difference is there are no more lockdowns. Everything else remains the same. No, everything else doesn't remain the same. See, before we were in a state of emergency. Now we are not in a state of emergency. That's a big difference. Except it feels like we're still in a state of emergency. But when you end the state of emergency, you left a lot of people feeling like there is no more emergency. So there is no more need to adhere to rules and protocols. And I'm going to be honest with you, though. A large percentage of us made that determination a long time ago. A large percentage of Bahamians decided that they wasn't adhering to no protocols, no how. Another text, good morning. Can you give us a contact for the official sites you are using to get your official news? The Tribune and The Guardian. Just Road? That's not official. I just heard rumors that there was a whole road march and there was a whole concert over the weekend. And I saw videos of it, but I didn't get a timestamp. So that is social media. But between Saturday and today, a lot of people have confirmed for me that did happen. Another text, great show as usual. The text is completely wrong. This is Nassau. Politicians work for themselves. Nassau is not a real place.com. This person says, since I won't let them use the word mango on the radio, could I also deem the words VAT or income tax as bad words or profane as well? To be honest with you, I think VAT is a profane word. The only thing more profane than that is that we taxing taxes and calling it VAT. They're not allowed to tax taxes in Canada and them other places, you know. They don't do it there. But like I said, I don't want to call it predatory anything. I like to call it plantation model systems. Another text, how come all the new $100 notes out but no bank ATM could recognize them yet? It would have made more sense to upgrade the ATMs before distributing the notes. Nassau is not a real place. Well, I've been to ATMs that have dispensed hundreds. Are you suggesting that, like the other bill, the deposit section can't acknowledge it and receive it? Yeah, that is a big, big problem. That is a big problem. Because you've given me hundreds for me to go try and spend in communities that are telling me they ain't breaking hundreds, U.S. or Bahamian hundreds. To go try take to the little markets on Saturday morning that can't break hundreds. But they're not being accepted as deposits. I got another text here, Miss Greene. Cabbage closed. Yesterday, a new day. Somebody trying to tell me that Cabbage Beach public access points are closed? Wow. We need to look into that. Again, I didn't know we were going to be talking about plantation model systems today. Another text, you just mentioned that you were using BIS, WhatsApp, and another site. I got you. So if you go on WhatsApp, you can search. I would search Bahamas Information Services and search your daily headlines. You could search them on Facebook as well, and there you should be able to find an invite link to WhatsApp. But these are two good sources, particularly if you're looking for information, but to assess whether what you're hearing out there on the streets is real, if it's making sense or not. All right, we're going to go to this break. And when we get back, we're going to get back into the news, possibly look at some of these COVID regulations, look at curfews around the region. Stay tuned to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You're on the clock with Erin Greene. We'll be right back.
At a time when jobs are hard to find, crime is a concern, and Bahamians are uncertain about the future of the country, there is one paper you can rely on as your source of news and commentary. The Nassau Guardian delves deeper into the issues. We ask the tough questions. We tell your stories. If you haven't already, pick up a copy today. The Nassau Guardian. News and views that matter since 1844.
Your print needs are short or long run, digital printing, wide format, or print consultation. Call the best. Call Printmasters. They have been in the printing business since 1957 and are a printing company with a tradition of excellence. The goal at Printmasters is to provide their clients with the highest levels of personal professional service at an affordable price, along with the technology that makes working together efficient and easy. Laminations, business cards, flyers, posters, window and floor decals are just a few of the digitized printing services offered at Printmasters. Call 302-2361 and print with the best. Print with Printmasters.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Thank you for staying tuned to On the Clock with Erin, Greene. We're talking about what's in the news, but we're talking about COVID protocols. Get this feeling is just road in the air. Some people feel Thanksgiving, some people feel Christmas. I smell just road. I got a note here. Somebody's asked me to make mention of the fact that they are witnessing jitneys, buses being filled to the brim with passengers. And I want to address this, right? Because I think we got to find solutions for this problem, right? As opposed to just bashing it. Here's what we need. First of all, bus drivers, official bus drivers, they need some sort of gas exemption. They need something to reduce the price of gas if they're running at a lower capacity, if they're running at 50% capacity. Officially registered bus drivers or buses need to be able to get their gas at a reduced cost so that we could maintain these protocols and it makes sense to run the jitney. There are too many people, there are just far too many people that rely on public transportation to just let it fall apart. And not just, for recreation and go to church and go to the beach and go to the food store and go to pay bills, but to go to work for us, for other people. We need to make sure that both the bus drivers and the people that rely on the bus service are being taken care of. So when I see the provisions for the advisory committee laid out in the new health services COVID-19 general rules, I want to know, are there people on the committee whose job it is to investigate, assess, and interrogate how the COVID protocols are impacting business and people's lives and to develop solutions for that? Yeah, and that concert, listen, I'm not saying that we can't try to do new things, but what I'm saying is that we need to be creative and imaginative. And we need to really invest in new ways of doing the things that are sacred to us and are of value to us. And dear politicians, to be honest with you, that's what you're getting paid for. Another text, it says, yes, confirmation that Cabbage Beach was closed yesterday. This is not making, it makes a lot of sense to me, but we need a real campaign that is not politically motivated, in fact, needs to be nonpartisan, separated from political parties. Another text, this whole thing is a game. They already predicting a fourth wave. Have you ever heard of a virus coming in waves? I tell you, COVID breaking and changing all the rules. They only allow in freedoms until they announce it and unvax are the causes of the fourth wave. The unvax will soon be targeted and persecuted. Well, my biggest concern in the whole discussion has been to ensure that the government is aware of, acknowledges, and lives up to its obligations to citizens from a human rights perspective, right? And I will say that in both administrations' policies, it's just not clear. We need far more clarity. This pandemic cannot play out in the vax versus the unvax. First of all, I don't think the science is telling us that or suggesting that to us. Another text, hi, Ms. Greene, like how you challenge the powers to be and just be a true Bahamian and not political. Honestly, I think overnight curfew help crimes. Now I hear more noise and roaming on the streets. This government need to be careful. Don't mind changes, but also increase discipline and law enforcement. What you think? I think that from Friday night at 12 a.m., the police should have been on the street like the night before or the first night of the pandemic when the term just road originated. They should have been on the street in force like that, right? To show the people that, look, we are here to monitor and use our discretion. Our expectation is that you will continue to govern yourself accordingly. And I would have had police out on the streets for the first month with a slow sort of, slowly lessen the forces, right? Reduce presence and forces over the first month. But letting people know that we still expect you to be disciplined. Another text, great show as usual. The Carnival wrote a letter to the government to come this year. Are they still coming? I don't know. I don't know. The way my insurance is set up, I don't know. But I will say this. If, quote unquote, the Carnival has been doing this, running this event in other jurisdictions over the last 2 years, I would like to sit and ask them to show me how they have managed COVID protocols and social distancing and minimizing capacity on rides and in the venue as a whole and maintain a reasonable bottom line. I think that's what we need here, because many people are afraid that if they adhere to the COVID protocols, they're not going to hit their economic markers, right? And they need to be able to trust that they won't lose money following the COVID protocols. There's another point I wanted to make about this new day. First of all, I'm still not pleased. I'm going to go have me one raffle or one cookout so I could raise some money to pay one lawyer to challenge this. But in today's Tribune, there's an article entitled Time to Give Back with Volunteer Initiative. Governor General Sir Cornelius A. Smith has called on citizens and residents to take part in a national volunteer initiative. His comments came as he launched the Volunteers' Call to Action during a press conference last week at his office. When we first formed the Governor General's Volunteer Bahamas, we developed a tagline that defined our vision, Sir Cornelius said. Simply, Volunteer Bahamas, a call to action. Over the next week, we want everyone young and old, rich and poor in Nassau, Grand Bahama, and throughout the Bahamas to pledge to donate time for a worthy cause on Saturday, November the 20th, or Sunday, November the 21st. This upcoming Friday has been designated as National Volunteer T-Shirt Day. Employers are asked to allow workers to wear a T-shirt of an organization which they are connected to that does volunteer work. November has been declared National Volunteerism Month. So here's what I want to say. I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club for organizing its members and supporters to volunteer to support the government's vaccine protocol, their campaign. I want to ask Rotary to continue this commitment to the Bahamian populace. And if you haven't already, to rejoin the government to fulfill this their vaccine campaign mandate. But most of all, I want to say thank you. I also want to call on the Chamber of Commerce and the Employers Federation to join the Governor General and Rotary to continue volunteering in the necessary programs associated with COVID and the pandemic, but development in the country generally. And I want to make this note. See, every other week, I row in Bay Street Medical for all manner of things. But I do want to say thank you to Bay Street Medical. I don't know if you volunteered or you partnered or you just assisted the government with these initial testing pilot programs on the Family Islands. But I want to say thank you to you for doing that. I also want to send a shout out to my friend and colleague, Stephen Evans from Flow Bahamas, that is also working with the Governor General's Call to Action volunteer program. But back to Bay Street Medical, Rotary, and the Chamber of Commerce. We need you to step up to the plate. As members of civil society and the private sector, to volunteer and partner in this way, in these ways with the government and civil society to make these things work. I call on you in the same way that I call on the government to discipline itself. I also call on you to discipline yourself in a way that you cause or compel other members in your organization and in the wider society to commit to supporting the most vital programs in our country through volunteerism. See, I route Bay Street Medical almost every day. Somebody park up on the sidewalk, blocking the sidewalk, route them. But I will big them up and thank them when we see them doing the things that need to be done in our society. That don't mean I forgot about you, Columbus House. I don't understand. I know y'all could find parking. I know the people who work there could find parking. I just don't know why y'all have to have vehicles parked on that sidewalk of all the sidewalks in Nassau town. It's just problematic and dangerous. Another text says, President Trump's new media platform, Truth Social, is going to be the largest world enterprise. Don't take it for granted. Okay. We ain't talking about utility service. I could barely get on the internet. You worried about me connecting to Trump? Truth Social? Could barely get on the internet. Anyway, there's lots to talk about today and tomorrow. I'm going to get that third piece of legislation. We're going to go through these new COVID regulations tomorrow. Some of the things that I think we absolutely need to talk about are Health Services COVID-19 General Rules 2021. That's the name of the legislation. Part 3, Guarding Against and Preventing the Spread of COVID-19 protocols. 8, Physical distancing protocols. Did you know every person shall practice physical distancing of not less than 6 feet between himself and others who are not of the same household wherever he is away from his residence? No more 3 to 6 feet. The rule is 6 feet. 2, every business shall ensure that all customers and staff maintain physical distancing between themselves and others of not less than 6 feet while inside or awaiting entry outside the business. Every business shall determine the number of persons permitted in the business at any one time on the basis of one person for every 30 square feet of space. And every business shall have distance markers 6 feet apart, indicating where each customer is to stand on a line awaiting entry or checkout. See, this is how important it is for us to get this information out to the public. You need to know the new rule is now 6 feet, not 3 to 6 feet. This is very important. Listen, we're almost out of time. Remember, I can tell you why before we go this is important. Because when the police come to talk to you about why you're not maintaining the COVID protocols, you need to be aware what they are before you run out and accidentally get yourself locked up. But most of all, when people around you are cutting their eye at you because you're too close to them, and you getting ready to cuss them or run hard or try fight them because they keep moving away from you. And you know you as people, so you don't understand why people are moving away from you. You should know that the rules have changed. And now the rule is 6 feet. And don't say to yourself, well, the police don't enforce nothing, no how. Because that don't matter. What matters is the time that they decide to enforce it. And you the person who getting locked up. These things are very, very important. This is how we govern ourselves, Bahamas. People get the governments they deserve. That's why I govern myself. And I scare the pinches. That helps a lot. Anyway, we are at the end of the hour. I got one last text to close it out. It says, am I allowed to use physical force on someone in the food store for being 6 inches in my personal space? Okay, here's what the rules are. No, you are not allowed to use physical force to cause somebody to adhere to COVID protocols. What you got to do is move out of the way. Call somebody in charge. Do what's necessary to maintain the peace and stay safe. Anyway, it's 11 a.m. I gotta go. Levon Miller and Unleashed is up next. So stay tuned to Guardian Radio 96.9.